fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome back, Star Trek Fleet Command fans. Today, it's that time of the month. Nope, not the one where you're on flow visits. The one where we go over this past month, grade it, and then we send those results over to Scopely and say, hey, shame, or good job, depending on what it is we're talking about. So, for those who are new to this process, whether you're level 20 or level 70, we want your opinion in this survey. Link is in the description below, as well as the comment section, as well as the Discord, etc., etc. So if you want to be able to contribute your thoughts, positive and negative, and be very clear, be as negative as you want, be as positive as you want. It's anonymous. Nobody knows, and the only people that have the answers or to get the results of this is the community, because we share this out. So let's go ahead and start with it. Now, as I normally do, I will simply put neutral answers because I don't want to influence y'all. My answers will be at the very end. I'll kind of give you an idea of what I think. You answer this honestly and don't let any content creator, American or otherwise, change your viewpoint. Don't let us, because we'll do it, apparently. Anyway, officer grading. Let's start with that. Again, I'm just going to put neutral grades, and then y'all can kind of decide for yourself. So these officers are unintentionally, one of them is very good, and intentionally, one of them is very meh. So let's scroll on down to talk about Hoshi Sato and Phlox. Now, Phlox is actually very nice because two unintended changes happened in this month, and I would argue that those are player-friendly changes. Number one, they allowed loot officers to start working with the Borg Cube's ability for technological distinctiveness earning. So what that means is, when you go out and use your cutting beam, using things like Enterprise D Picard, 5 of 11, EMH Below Decks will give you more loot to your cutting beam. So that was Phlox's whole thing. And they like, you know what? That's a bug. It benefits the players. Let them have it. So that was a positive. So what ends up happening is you have different things with Phlox getting moved around, or his abilities being changed slightly. Now you increase the efficiency of the charging beam's cutting beam, which go below decks. But this one, officer ability, also had an issue because, as you can see, it reads on combat start against players, but we have learned, and I discussed in my video, that it works against hostiles as well. And then Scopely said, let them have it. So a little surprising, to be real, but has made Phlox useful. Drawback, sourcing Phlox currently is not really a thing, but future reference, that is a nice addition to the hostile officers. And then Hoshi Sato is literally just a cargo size and gas miner. And I would just really say straightforwardly that the rares of the Enterprise set are pretty worthless. I use T'Pol every day because she's protected cargo, but yeah, disappointing. Shran, T'Pol, and Hoshi have all been disappointing. And then, of course, we're continuing our theme of Mo Epics, Mo Beta, because why not? Anyway, that is your officers. You grade them how you want. I do realize that I put a lot of oomph in there, so maybe y'all have opinions, but put your grades in however you want to do them. Feature grading. This is where it's going to get really squirrely for a lot of people, and I understand why. So the biggest portion of the features this month are all directed towards 40 and 50 plus players, which accounts for a little less than half of the overall game. So there are many of you who might not be able to see some of those things, and for that, just feel free to semi-ignore. Like, for example, if you can't do temporal artifact silence, just ignore this part of it. I'll be honest, the temporals you can start before level 40, I think temporal artifacts are good. The silent hostile loop is, if you can do it, it's very good. If you can't do it, you probably hate it. And then you have Xindi Armadas that came out. So again, just giving neutral grades. But overall feature grading did include things like speeding up the Armadas so that the spawns are faster. Basic things for the entire game, but the majority, like the big stuff, big players. So it is what it is. Y'all can kind of debate that in the comment section if you would like. I am not really going to argue pros or cons. We've gone over this, right? I've said that about 90% of the people who reach out to me, we've gotten them beat silent hostiles, but there's plenty of people who can't. They're definitely really painful levels, and I really will not be surprised if like every level, 90% of the level 51s who comment on this are like, yeah, it's too hard. Completely fine. That's what feedback is for. And if I have a good enough response from the players, so share this out with your alliance and your server. If I have a good enough response where I can actually say, hey, look specifically at all of these 51s and 52s, maybe we can make an argument for changes that have been discussed and will continually be discussed here about silence. And Xindi Armadas, I think, is a fantastic premise that they try to do two things at once. They tried to give you a catch-up mechanic slash, basically a freebooters mechanic, but then they also try to make it into a premium thing for players level 50 and above. So very curious to see where that goes. I'll be honest, I think a lot of things in this month, I said this on the live stream yesterday, I think we're going to look back on this in 6 months after they change a lot of this stuff and make it better and be like, hey, this is really good content. For the month that came out, it might be pretty tough pill to swallow for a lot of the players. So again, y'all grade it how you want to. Coming on through to the event calendar, whew, man, there's some ups and downs with the event calendar. There were some solid paying events. The debate was, could you actually complete some of those events? I personally loved anything that is related to like trivia hunting, which I thought was good this month. I personally liked the Hoshi Sato idea of translation to create the universal translator. I don't necessarily think that the event was well described or informed, but I do like some of the ideas. And as far as the event store currency, y'all put whatever you want. I already know most of y'all's answer, but again, I'm keeping it neutral till the very end. And then one I put down here, did you like the ticket change? Now, keep in mind, when I ask this question about the ticket exchange, I'm not saying you want to trade and get less event store currency. What I'm saying is, based on player feedback, do you like that this allows you to get materials in the month, whereas generally this month you get basically no materials? Believe it or not, this is actually a big point of feedback, Scopely guys, so now I'm curious on what players think. So anyway, I'm at the next page. Grading communication, in my humble opinion, y'all can stand on whatever side of this hill you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and break my own rule and say this. I personally believe communication has been the best that it has been in probably 2+ years this month. Now, that does not fix a whole bunch of other problems, but even literally as we were making this video, the interim schedule rolls out right on time for you to know exactly what's happening here after the Battle Pass for our 2-week break. Please continue this, Scopely. This is a massive positive. Communication significantly improved. This isn't just between me and the CMs or anything. This is from them to the folks. Fantastic. Little things that I would love to see them doing more, using more of Reddit, Facebook, the official Twitter account, Instagram, using all your accounts to get information, not just Discord, but love that. And I really love the use of the admin bot. Finally, something I've been asking live ops to do for well over a year, to start using that to announce important things in Galaxy Chat. They've started doing that. So communication, significant improvement. Is it perfect? I didn't say that. Always room for improvement, but I would say that it's the best communication that we've gotten in a long, long time. And then last, but certainly not least, stability, which I do think that the Unity upgrade has improved stability, but there are clear issues for a lot of folks still, including we have got issues that necessarily may not be directly tied to stability, but we've still had wave defense issues pop up. We've still had issues with, hey, somebody went and just fortified everything. Look at you. Look at all those bonuses. I'm actually proud of this player. Shout out to Malicious Ascension over here getting as many bonuses so they can grind out silent hostiles. But as far as stability goes, I do think that there have been improvements made there, but y'all vote on it based on your personal experience, not my experience. And then, of course, the famous quality over quantity question, which y'all can kind of answer for yourself. So that's the entire form. Now, I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to answer it as I believe it is. So we are 9 minutes in. If you do not want me influencing your opinion, stop listening to this video. Stop it. Go to the description and get the video, or go to the Discord or somewhere else. Just go somewhere else. Stop. Leave me alone. These are my answers. I don't want to influence your answers. So I currently went to level 50 this month to build the Tribune, and I'm in the US. So I'm going to click that in. Then officers. I feel like the officers are meh. Blocks good. Hoshi Sato extremely meh. Don't necessarily need any of them, but could be nice to have eventually. Exactly as it says on the rubric. Nice to get an upgrade eventually. So, yeah. Be nice to have. Anyway, next up on the list. Feature grading. This one's real tricky for me. Do I grade based on how it is just for me, or how it is for what I believe is for everybody? If it's just for me, I'm going to be honest, it's a B. Many of you are about to throw a fit right now and go, how the heck can Rev say it's a B? Because I, sitting on an account that had a tier 9 pylum at level 49, because I'm a very slow player. Like 5 years in, there are free-to-play players 6 levels ahead of me. Well, now 5 levels. The highest free-to-play in the game, pure free-to-play, is level 55, if I remember right, and there are a lot of them in the early 50s. So I play a very slow game. So I don't rush, and I have generally the strongest stuff for my level. Because of that, I can double pull my temporal loot. I can do silent hostiles, as you can see me do in the background. I can hit 49s, and I don't like to, but I can, and it doesn't hurt. So very, very specific opinion to this one account. It was good, but I understand that there are very real pain points. I personally love temporal artifacts, don't love silent hostiles, hate that they made it unnecessarily loop, and will continue to gripe about that. I think that Zindi Armadas are basically useless right now. Again, I'm giving you my answers based on this account. Don't expect everybody to sit here and say the features are good. In fact, if most of y'all say the features are good, I'm going to question whether I'm polling the right people, because that certainly is not how the feedback has been through the official channels. So I'm just making it known this is for this specific account, okay? Because I promise you, my other accounts did not enjoy it. So grading the event calendar, nothing special. Now keep in mind that this is not talking about the currency. When I'm grading the event calendar, I'm just talking about the events. And I feel like the majority of players could reasonably participate in events. There were some that you couldn't. So if you knock it down to a D, I understand. Examples, the Armada SMS that they rolled out that had so much event store currency locked in it that so few people could actually do. So if you want to mark it as that, completely understood. Event store currency, a little low. About half of what we normally get. Now, it wasn't nothing, and I don't feel I think it's fair to say it was nothing, but the overall amount is definitely low, whereas we have had in the past year tremendous and really nice amounts, and now it was a little low. It was the lowest we've had in over 2 years by our tracking, so it was not good at all. Personally, I like the ticket event change, assuming I get the same amount of event store currency. But I do like that as an idea to allow players to continue to get uncommons that they need, especially my free-to-play players, because they need it. So if you are one of those players, then you probably were going to agree with me right here. If not, well, you're probably not going to agree. So next up on the list, we're going for graded communication. Again, I think it's been the best month that you've probably seen in 2 years. That said, everything can get better, so maybe I'm just not willing to dive straight into an A, but really was significantly better this month, and gosh, I hope it remains the same. And then last but not least, game stability. Again, I'm basing this off my account. Was fine. Quality over quantity month. I'm not going to ever say that 2 new loops are quality, but I feel like it was okay. But anyway, there's Rev's answers and submit. You do the same down below. Let me know what you think. Please share this out. Help this get spread out to as many people as possible. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video, which is tomorrow. Stream tonight. Yeah, we're always around. So hit me up.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.